Hi, Gary. Ann Vance here with Gary Stevens, President and CEO of Wildlife Habitat Federation. And it is December 2025, the very end of the year. And what a year it has been. So I had a couple of questions for you, Gary. And I know people are interested in what this year was like for us. It was some years of changes. So this one packs some pivots and changes, not only for us, but other conservation organizations as well. How did Wildlife Habitat Federation pivot and adjust and adapt?
Thank you, Ann. It's good to be here. Look forward to this. 2025 has truly been a strong year for lots of reasons. I'm looking forward to seeing it gone in 2026 being a lot better, a lot smoother. A lot of political things that caught us. Uh, we've actually we're about almost 4 months out of our grant agreements with USDA, NRCS, and National Fish and Wildlife Foundation, and it hurt. But um, what it allowed us to do is during that interim was to resume our model fee-based services for landowners, charging them, a fee to recoup our expenses. We do have several conservationists out on the ground within the state, and these landowners couldn't stop. I mean, once we get to going, and you get them enthused, and they actually are starting to look at and implement practices. The government shut down, but we didn't. We went back to those landowners, and we continued to help them uh, because it's all about helping them help the land, right?
Yeah.
So, very good opportunity there for us to, stop planning, working with plans quite as much, and start focusing on quality of implementation and monitoring.
So it
'Cause
sounds like you were able to use this time to adjust actually to a little bit of an advantage, although I'm sure it really didn't feel like it in the moment.
Yeah, we were able to use it, to the landowner's advantage because you know traditionally in work with that I've done in the past and other agencies, other organizations uh, seem to do is help a landowner get started, and then they back off and they never see that person again. And that's one of the key aspects of what we do and how we do it is we're going to maintain contact with that landowner throughout the whole process. And so this kind of forced us to do that somewhat. We were on a high, really rolling along, working with landowners, developing plans, but this allowed us time to work with them to get it put on the ground.
That's really cool. That's really cool. So at this point, are we more focused on conservation planning or conservation implementation?
Both, all three. Um, from January of 2025 through September of 2025, even though we were shut down from our grants that were paying us to do a lot of this, we still worked with 200 landowners, and we actually worked with them on 180,000 acres. We helped them develop 52 habitat management plans on 62,000 acres. Of those landowners, 30 of them implemented a practice on 16,000 acres that were brought under approved management uh, as part of our planning process and implementation process. And that ecosystem service value for that many acres is about $10 million that those implemented practices, those lands brought under improved management, provide to the natural ecosystem in terms of soil quality, water quality, air quality, plant and animal health, economics, and saving energy. And we're all about reducing the impact to the environment through minimizing and using best management practices that don't require energy. So we're helping that landowner by doing that. Help that landowner help the land, which has a public benefit to it. In the lower Trinity watershed, there are 9 million people in the Houston area that depend on quality, clean water out of the Trinity River watershed, just in Houston alone. That's not counting Dallas, Fort Worth, and all those entities up north on the Trinity. As you know, the Trinity goes right through Dallas and Fort Worth, between Dallas and Fort Worth. And so, it's a large watershed and has large impact to millions and millions of people. And so anything that we can do to work with that landowner to help them clean that water, slow that water down, clean it up, is a benefit. Our goal is to work with those landowners, as I've said, and I stress to staff all the time, from the assessment phase, where they're going out and doing the initial assessments, trying to determine what the landowner's goals and objectives are, putting those down in the form of a conservation plan that's both environmentally compliant through National Environmental Policy Act standards and protocols that NRCS has to follow. And largely we're funded by NRCS to do this, so we follow that policy. And those practices are planned to NRCS standards and specifications. They are the technical agency that has developed and helps to implement a lot of the practices that have the physical effects of each practice are studied. And so we're trying to minimize the physical effects on the environment. And through our planning and implementation, and then we help those landowners. We're not going to leave them hanging. We'll come back and work with them to determine stand success of a restoration project or organic matter in the soil from a adaptive high stock density grazing system. So we're there to help them with monitoring and all. We're just there to help them wherever they're at, and we on their conservation journey. And we do have some that are way ahead of us, and we do have some that we work with hand in hand to get them to that point.
That's really, really important stuff. Out of all those things, what do you think has been the most impactful, the most interesting, impactful thing that WHF has been able to do in this year?
Our conservationists have worked with about 28 or 9, I'm not sure the exact number offhand, of landowners in that had 36,000 acres that were enrolled in Farm Bill programs. Part of the metrics of our grant is to work with landowners to develop those conservation plans and implement those conservation plans and try to help them get financial assistance through programs like EQIP or CSP, the Conservation Stewardship Program. And sometimes we'll use those are the Farm Bill programs. So of that, there was over $5 million worth of EQIP and CSP contracts that we were able to help landowners obtain through NRCS.
That's really cool. That's really important. But what's made us so productive and beneficial for Texans this year?
Well, that the public benefit there of the implementation of the conservation practices that have positive physical effects. Cleaner water, cleaner air, uh, more water, restoring the hydrologic cycle, which means putting the water back in the ground and letting it transpire up through the plants and the plant roots, growing more plants, growing more diverse plants, enhanced biodiversity, which benefits all of our wildlife species that are out there on the ground, plus the livestock that grazes them. Those livestock prefer uh, and need, just like a human needs a diversity in their diet. Cattle are able to select, those diverse mixtures of plants out on an area that's achieved enhancement of biodiversity, and they pick and choose. And they, in some instances, there's uh, talk now about they're treating themselves medically. They know what they need, what their body craves, and if it's on a monoculture of Bermuda grass, for instance, that's all they're getting. And so, diversity of the habitat, diversity of the ecosystem, has been the largest impact that we've helped to landowners to achieve this year.
Building on it every single year. That's really cool. So if there is any landowners out there who are not currently working with Wildlife Habitat Federation and are interested in getting started, how would you suggest they connect with the organization?
Yeah, we have a very dedicated staff of about 18 people, 20 people, agronomist, biologist, rangeland ecologist, conservationist, that are working with us to over a myriad of different projects for different impacts. We have conservationists that are biologists that are working to enhance the land for the benefit of northern bobwhite quail and monarch butterflies. We have people that are working with cropland producers in the rolling plains to help them achieve ecosystem service value on their cropland, which a lot of that country, is marginal cropland at best. So our efforts have really been there. So we have this dedicated staff, and if you go to our website, which is whf-texas.org, you'll find an intake form where you can click on that button and request assistance. And once you've done that and finished that, then it comes back through the system, and then I ultimately receive that, and then I'll assign the closest staff member in a lot of instances, or in some instances, the staff member that is most qualified to address your conservation goals and objectives.
So there's room for more.
Word of mouth. We don't advertise. We are a 501c3 nonprofit organization that's doing this, and through some grants, but we also do it through a fee-based service if a person doesn't want us to deal with the government with them, which it happens in some cases. But word of mouth is our biggest advocate from satisfied clients. We receive multiple requests for assistance weekly, and I mean it never ends. You think you're catching up, and lo and behold, here comes 5 more.
That's good. Happy repeat customers too. A lot of them.
Happy repeat customers, yes.
We love that, because just when you think that your conservation journey might be over, it's really not, right?
Right.
So 2025 was a big year. The momentum from 2024, you can't stop it. You just can't stop it. So we're looking forward to 2026 and to just the right amount of rain to get us started in the new year, not too much, not too little. And Garry, what is it that you always say? The P's.
Yeah, a lot of conservation is not one practice and then you're done. Conservation is not a practice; it's a process. And so you got those two P's there: practice and process. But it goes on. Sometimes it takes time, so you have to have patience. And one of the most important things there that you have to make it all come together is precipitation. And then I've added another one here lately due to economy, that you need lots of pesos.
Yeah. Well, we can hope for all of that for everyone in the new year in 2026. And we certainly look forward to sharing more stories from the field with everybody who's listening to this today. And if anyone is interested in getting started with conservation on their property or learning more about the organization, please do visit the website and give us a shout. Garry, thank you so much. I appreciate your time.
And Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to everyone out there.
Thanks, Garry.